All right, hit and record. All right, welcome everybody. It's Irene here from Keller Williams Portfolio Realty. Honored and very excited today to have Erica Rose Siegel with us, teaching you her tips and tricks on door knocking. Now, Erica is from Brooklyn. Yeah?
New York, Queens, not Brooklyn, but close.
Queens. Tough audience. And you know what? If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, right? And that's why she's here sharing her knowledge about door knocking. So Erica, I'll give you the floor.
Amazing. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. Knowing that you are the educational chair for the ALC for Keller Williams and what's the city we're in over here? I mean,
Toronto.
What city is it?
Toronto.
Okay. So I am so blessed because I don't necessarily need to travel to be there with all of you, and B, I get to share this experience with you. And over the next hour, we're going to create some magic together. So if you're ready to create magic and you want some serious secrets about how to be successful, not just in door knocking, but just feeling successful in your life, then let's write the word success in the chat, because I'm here and I'm going to be sharing my experiences as an award-winning door knocker and some of the simple habits that can allow each of you to create a life by design. And I am sure that along the way, there's going to be some questions. As a matter of fact, I feel there's going to be a lot of questions. And as a former classroom teacher, and as someone who feels like there's never enough time to answer questions, and sometimes we don't feel comfortable asking questions in public, so we don't ask them, but you really do have something you need clarification on. And I am committed to making sure that every single person here leaves empowered and excited and implements some sort of door knocking into their routine. And that we also thrive and learn from each other's success and failures, not just today, but every day that we're doing this process, because door knocking is a process. And as we're here in the next just under an hour, and there's anything that you think, wow, that is an aha, as Sam Nealon, the team leader over in Keller Williams, Carrie refers to it as Carrie or Raleigh Market Center. Aha, I heard this. It's agents helping agents. So if there's anything along the way, you're like, holy smoke, I never would have thought of that before. If you could write the word aha in the chat, and then this way, maybe someone missed it, and then share it what it is about this that you thought, oh my gosh, that's my aha, and we can recap with those at the end. And I am real excited to tell you that yesterday, I closed on one of my very first ever door knocks when I was consistently door knocking. And what's interesting is that if I were to ask any one of you, how would you like to make an additional $44,000 in gross commission from a single door knock? Because that's precisely what happened. One door knock. And how would you like to be able to develop raving fans of your business for life? Not just like for a little while, but like forever. And how would you like to be able to create a stream of income that allows you to be in charge of your business and your income, and feeling like your business, instead of feeling like your business and your income is controlling you? I like every piece of that. Every part of me being in control of my money, my day, and my life is why I'm here. Because I know with door knocking, it's allowed me to create that. So today we are going to do what I call the 5 who, what, when, where, why, and how of door knocking. We're going to start with the who. So, and by who, I want you guys to think of like, who can door knock? It is everybody. If you have a real estate license, you can go out and door knock. And as a matter of fact, if you have friends or family that want to come with you just to learn about the business, bring them to door knock. You can bring a mortgage lender, you can bring a title closer, you can bring an insurance broker. It doesn't matter. You can bring people, because once you train them in the experience of going door knocking, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And you guys could actually leverage each other's business. So you can be going door to door, and then they could be going door to door, and they're like, oh, I don't need you, but actually I need a realtor, or I need a mortgage lender, I need this. You're like, oh, perfect. I'm just the right person. Is it okay if I take your contact information and I'll connect you guys this afternoon, or tomorrow morning be better? That's an alternative close. You always want to be able to walk away from the door with someone's contact information, and when can you connect? And seriously, whether you've been in the business, that I heard babies crying, Whether you've been in this business for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, or 25 years, whether you've sold 100 homes last year, whether you've sold 100 homes in your career, or you've not sold a single home in your career, or you've not been selling for a while, door knocking is a game changer. And I literally couldn't imagine my life without this process. And when I'm consistently doing it, it literally makes me feel like I can do anything. And I found this article that, and I'll share it with you guys in the chats that you have it, and if you want to read it over, and it really resonates perfectly with the topic, because door knocking is about mindset. And I'm going to read this to you guys briefly. There's just something about seeing things grow, about seeing them sprout up from seemingly nowhere at all. It's as close to magic as love is. Well, pretty close anyway. And I wanted to share these quotes about planting seeds with you today, not because it's the season for it, but because it's always a season, it's always the season to sow a little good karma. That's what door knocking is. You're sowing good karma. You're going out and you're helping people. You plant seeds every day in the world and in others. And with every thought you think, and every word you speak, and every action you take, you have influence. You're making a dent in the universe, and you matter in a very real way. And these quotes are about taking personal responsibility for what we say and what we do. And I really do think this is something worth talking about, because just like a garden needs its rain and sunlight after weeding, your relationships at the doors, in business, on the phones, they need tending to, and they need that by you. And the things you want to change and improve, they need commitment from you. So door knocking is not just a here and there type of thing. Farming is not that. It's a commitment. And you actually really need a certain level of self-awareness to understand your own impact on the world and around you, and to realize the power that you have over your experience, all of your experiences, and to see that you hold the seeds of all sorts of healing in your hands. So here it is. This day is about the curiosity that keeps the wonder alive. That what can allow, hold on, I'm looking for there it is. Curiosity and the wonder alive. Here's to taking it one day at a time, one door knock at a time. Here's to growing more patient in the seasons of waiting and being more resilient because of all we've been through. This past 18 months has been, for so many, very hard. Some of us maybe saw some great things happen, but we have really witnessed some real challenges. And here, this day is about us coming together and watching things grow more beautifully, including our business, our mindset, everything we can imagine, and to being a part of making that beautiful. And I share this because I know that so many of us have fears at times, fears about whether or not you can actually do this. Maybe you're like setting a goal of 400,000, or maybe you're setting a goal of selling 2 homes a month. Whatever the goal is, it's so important for you to be committed, for you to be resilient. And I truly believe that people who consistently door knock are not just door knockers. They're not just realtors. They're straight up miracle workers. Why? Because you're going door to door. You are willing to put yourself through the storm, the sun, the rain, the snow, the sleet, the heat. It doesn't matter. And I think you're miracle workers. And what you're doing is you're checking in on people. And when you door knock, it's so simple. It's just, it's not easy. And so there's a simple process. And at the end of this, you guys are going to walk away with this. And I see Irene, she's taking her notes. I love it. Everyone should be writing down whatever ahas they can take from this. Because for me, just as a side note, I've spent over $100,000 in training and development. I have gone through Bill Nasby training. You can Google him online. He's been an award-winning door knocker. He's since passed away. His his daughter has taken over. And the things I've learned from them are literally priceless. And if I can tell you, when you go door knocking, you need to do one of the things. When we talk about the who, like who is going to do, well, who is all of us, any one of us here, the where, we get to where. You have two options. Number one, you can pick a farm area. You can go to your neighborhood, whether it's Toronto or a surrounding city. And then you want to make sure that in that area, the business is actually happening. Now, Irene, is there actual like homes are consistently selling in your neighborhood right now, or are they not?
Is there what? Sorry, what was the?
Are there homes consistently selling? Like, are there consistent sales, or is it the market? Yeah. Okay. Because some neighborhoods.
The only reason our market slowed down over August is just lack of inventory. But no, we still have a very, very strong market. If you price it right, it sells.
Perfect. Well, lack of inventory is the exact reason we want to go door knocking, because that's what you're looking for is inventory. You're looking for homes, and you don't actually need to have a listing to go there. You can actually just say, hey, we have a shortage of inventory. And I was wondering, when do you plan on moving? It's that simple. You're like, what? It's that simple. And people are shocked to hear that, especially when you go there and you actually know your statistics. So if you're going in a specific farm area, knowing the days on the market, knowing what the market looked like last year versus this year, meaning the average list to sale price ratio, knowing, and knowing that information will allow you to sound like a market expert, even if you've never sold a home before, or if you sold 500 but never have sold in this market or never door knock. Knowing your stats, people trust people who know numbers. And who else can you actually door knock besides in your neighborhood if you're not going to go house to house and kind of map it out? Because you could map it out. You could say, I'm going to go this block on Monday, this block on Tuesday, this block on Wednesday, this block on Thursday, and then go visit that block. Those blocks, you're going to visit them 4 times a year so that they get to know you. You could do it that way. And the other way you could do that is you could do door knocking, is you could, in addition, I should say, not the other way, because it's kind of hard to really meet this many people in a given day, unless you're super looking, and this could be your way to farm, is you could actually just be going about your day and running errands, going to appointments, and do what I call people knocking. You literally stop people in the street. You're like, hey there, I so love your necklace. Oh my gosh, thanks. Yeah, where'd you get it from? Oh, my necklace? I don't know. I think I got it from Nordstrom. Nordstrom, really? Oh, it's gorgeous. By the way, do you live in the area? You've developed rapport. Then you say, oh, actually, no, I live about 30 minutes from here. Oh, 30 minutes here. Okay, good for you. Where's this? And you literally get into a real estate conversation. And they're like, oh my gosh, when people feel connected, they're going to open up to you. How long have you been in the area? I don't know, about 10 years. 10 years, that's a long time. Where'd you move from? Well, I was in actually Alberta, and I moved to Toronto. Why? Well, I'm curious if you were to move, where'd you go next? There's a lot of movement right now in the market where there's a shortage of inventory. We're just curious if you'd consider selling. I don't know. What do you really think I should sell? I don't know, but if it made financial sense, would you want to? Maybe. Okay, great. Why don't we do this? 15, 20 minutes. I'll be in your neighborhood tomorrow between 4 and 5, or maybe Saturday between 2 and 3. And folks, you make up those times. Even if you're not in the neighborhood, you make it up. So they think you're busy and you have appointments. And you actually want to have your schedule of when you're going to door knock. That's why I say you're in control, because when you're looking at people and you sound A, busy, and B, you have a schedule, you sound like a true professional. So when you do that, like, oh, I don't know, Erica, I mean, you really think you need to come up? I don't mind. I'm going to be in the area. It's okay. It'll take 15, 20 minutes. If it makes sense, we'll make a move. If not, that's okay too. And they're just grateful. Oh, wow, really? And, I'm sure there's got to be a class, Irene, where someone's talked about how to do the CMA, like these people here know. Okay, cool. Yeah. I just want to make sure. And that's what it's called by you guys. It's called the comparative market analysis or marketing.
Yeah, except now we're using personal equity analysis, right?
Ooh, yeah, I love it. Personal equity analysis. I
for
love
sale
it.
equity analysis. Yeah, and this might be a good time to ask. We touched on this in a couple of the script practice sessions, and it's the question of, if you're at the door, do you walk in if they invite you, or do you actually call to set up an appointment? And I don't know if you were on those sessions, but Steve Gendel and I had a little bit of duking it out.
I was on those sessions, and I do not go in. I never go in, ever. I actually, and let me be honest, in my 13 years of selling real estate, I've gone in once. No, twice. Okay. And this is a true story, that my mindset was not strong. And if you've ever had like a bad day, a bad hour, or a bad week, let's, raise our hand. And if you're on, hidden camera, you can raise your digital hand where you're just, life is not going. It seems like life isn't on your side. So I've gone door knocking where my head was not in the right space. And true story, somebody threatened to, said they were going to kill me, and they had a gun. And I was like, I'm tough. It's so, I didn't pull out a gun. I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, we'll let you stay. It's okay. I was like, oh, I'm with Exit. At the time I was with Exit. I said, hey, good morning. My name is Siegel. And I was wondering, when do you plan on, and I was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm with Exit Realty. Wondering, when do you plan on moving? There was a shortage of inventory in the area. I was wondering, when do you plan on moving? And the person's like, get that, threatened to kill me. And I was like, oh my God. So the next door, I went to knock, like, I'm okay, don't worry, I'm okay. I said, listen, we'll let you stay. I go to the next door, and the guy opens the door, and I said, hi, I'm with Exit. And all of a sudden I realized I was so nervous that I had to pee. So I just said, I'm so sorry, can I use your bathroom? And he let me in. And it turns out he was putting his whole, I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't even know him, but I just was so scared. And I'm telling the story because Irene's probably like, why are you telling the story? I'm telling this story because if your mind isn't right and you go to the doors, you're going to attract people who don't want to talk to you. Like, I went out this morning, my mind was so strong that I was talking to people, and people came to me to talk to me. Literally, I was doing what I call people knocking, and I was in Starbucks, I was grabbing something to eat, and then all of a sudden I'm just talking to the neighbors, because that's what I do. If I see you in between doors, and if I see you on the street, I'm just talking to you. And this man said, excuse me. And I said, yes. He says, can I talk to you for a second? Absolutely. He said, I've been here for 50 years. People knock on my door all the damn time, and nobody has ever spoken about real estate in my life the way that you do. And I am so impressed with you. Can I have your contact information? And I'm like, sure. And it was like, I could tell that I was vibrating at such a high level that people were gravitating to me. And he wasn't the only one. Then someone else, and I was talking to someone else in the street, and they said, wait, are you in real estate? And I said, yeah, how can I help? So if you're not having a good day, I am 1,000,000% certain that, first of all, you've got to do something to shift it. And we're going to get to that in a few minutes. But does that answer your question, Irene, about going? I don't go inside. I don't want to. I schedule an appointment and I say, oh my gosh, I would so love to. However, I can't believe this. I actually have an appointment in 10 minutes. So is it okay if we set something up to have some swing by tonight at 5, or would tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. work better? I just don't do it because I have no idea what they're looking for.
Yeah, it's I'm certainly of the mind to not go in because first of all, it's a safety issue, but at the same time, you are always going to be asked for a price. And if you don't know the neighborhood and you don't know absolutely every sale off the top of your head, you might give them a price that's too high and get them overly optimistic. You might give them a price that's too low, and you're never going to get a foot in the door again. So like you said, yeah, I've got to run. Let me grab your phone number. I'll give you a call when I get back to the office, and we'll set up a time to get together.
I just don't want to be caught off guard. Sorry, someone's confirming airport appointments for tomorrow. So yeah, I don't do that. And no one is really mad about it. They're just like, oh, okay, no big deal. And I also want, as a side note, just because the person didn't say they're moving doesn't mean they're not. I can think of at least 5 people that did not express any interest at the doors about moving and called me within 1 week and said, hey, you were at my door. They're like, you were at my door and I remember one of them, I was at Splish Splash with my nieces and they're telling me this whole story. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Wait, I remember you said you weren't moving. And they said, yeah, I know. I was just a little creeped out that like you came through the door. And then I did my research on you, your company. Like it was depending on I did my research on you, your company, or I realized you were a legit person. And one of them I remember specifically said, I told my daughter you came to my door and there was a realtor looking for inventory. And my daughter said, oh, that's my realtor, like 3 towns over. So it was just like another one's like, I told my husband what you did. And he's like, that's our realtor. I mean, she's a hustler. Like, why would you not use her? Are you kidding? There's just so never think just because someone didn't say yes, you always want to leave them better than you found them. If they're like, listen, get out of here, I'm just not interested. Okay, listen, we'll let you stay. There's no need to move right now. Listen, you take care of yourself, okay? Walk away. You never know. They could have had a fight with their husband. They could have lost their job. And you could be that kind soul. Listen, you take care of yourself. We'll be in touch. Have a good one. And then you walk away and send them, pray for them, send them love. Bye-bye. So I just definitely don't walk in the door because I want to be prepared. And I have had even like examples where I've actually, as far as, scenarios where I've met people that I've sold homes to. During Hurricane Sandy, I car knocked. I literally could not get to gas stations because I could get to the gas station, but I couldn't get, there was a line so long and I'm like, I can't get to my farm area, which is 1.5 miles from here without walking in this heat, like cold weather. It was in November. Without walking in this cold weather, why don't I just go to the gas station, go where the opportunities are? So there's a line like 3 blocks long and I just knocked on the window and I'm like, hey, good morning. My name is Theyre. And they're like, wait, what? I'm like, they couldn't go anywhere. There's just a line, right? So they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just out here looking for work. They're like, in my car? I'm like, no, I'm actually looking in the neighborhood where I normally go to work. I can't get there because of gas. Somebody called me 2 days later, like, you knocked on my car door. And I said to my girlfriend, that's my realtor. There is nobody I met who would think to go door to door like this. That's our realtor and another buyer. And so just because someone doesn't say in that moment, if you leave them better than you found them, even if they're crappy to you, maybe I shouldn't have said that we're being recorded, even if they're not like nice to you, you don't know what's happening. And when we get to like the script in a few minutes, like the details and the nitty gritty, I'm happy to have someone role play with me and be like disgruntled, right? And like have me handle that. And you'll watch and see how that even if you're disgruntled, you can still leave them better than you found them, okay? Now I want to talk about why we door knock. There are so many benefits to door knocking. And I know, Irene, you door knock, so I'm going to ask you to contribute any that I might have missed. But one is it builds confidence. You get to know your market. You have regular conversations with people. You build relationships with the neighbors, the community. It allows people to see you as hardworking. It allows people to see you as someone who truly cares about the neighborhood and is willing to do things, rain, shine, sleet, or snow. It allows you to get exercise in. Like you can sit on your butt and call your center of influence all day long or call expires or FSBOs. And I'm not sure, I know every market has different rules. But this actually puts you in control. If you're at the doors, you're having the conversation. They're not going to call, you call an expired, you call a FSBO, you call a family friend, you're calling your D2, and they call you back and now you're on something else, you got to stop. So if you're at the door, they can't go anywhere. You're talking to them. I mean, the worst they could do is no thanks, close the door, next. But it really puts you in control of your schedule and your day and your life, and you feel good. Irene, is there anything else you wanted to add as far as why door knocking?
I think you've covered it. I mean, really, it's just building the confidence for success. The challenge for a lot of people, you and I are old hat at this. Roger mentioned to me last week that he used to door knock consistently and stopped, and now he's picking back up again. It's for a lot of people, and you mentioned, is that it? Whenever somebody comes to shadow me for the first time, and they listen, they say like, really, that's it? Because they do feel intimidated at the beginning until they start. And if you do come from contribution and you're not just, pounding on the door, looking for somebody that wants to sell right now, you show up, you're professional looking, you smile, you're friendly, if 1 out of every 50 people shuts the door on you, then they would have hung up on you if you called them anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And Roger, I can think of actually the one that closed yesterday, and this was a $1,020,000 sale. And in addition, that closed yesterday, and that was from a door knock, and they didn't say they were moving. They just held onto my card. And so then, but because I was so kind to them, they said, we remember you and we just kept your card. And then I didn't sell their house right away. I put tenants in there. So then the tenants, I got paid on the rental commission. And then the tenants had to move out and find places when I sold the house. And so then, and I sold the house. So it's really coming from contribution. Just, hey, if you ever need anything, feel free to reach out. And here I am. I now have also been getting to the habit, if I have a good conversation, I like say, oh my gosh, you know what? And I go like this, because this is a bag. I wear this bag and I walk around door knocking with my bag. And so I don't know, like maybe some guys don't want to walk around with the bag. Like I understand you, then wear the shirt, right? Like you can get this shirt. I think, I got it from my market center, but I'm thinking they probably got it at, there's something called a red store. I'm still relatively new to Keller Williams. So there's a red store. Apparently you can buy black shirts at the red store. That was supposed to be funny. It's probably not, but, but yeah. So you can get this there, and then you go out. There's another one, buy, sell, invest. I saw another one that says like, I'm a realtor because something miracle worker was not available or something like the job of miracle worker and incredibly hard worker was no longer available. So they call me realtor instead. And so if you don't necessarily have to be in like this suit and tie. If that's not your jam, like if you don't dress like that, then don't do it because you're going to be uncomfortable. If you religiously dress like that, then go do it. But also know it might be really hot or really cold. So you want to be comfortable. You need comfortable shoes, you need comfortable attire, you need a clipboard, you need pen and paper to write down, you need your business cards, and you need, and we're going to actually talk about that in just a moment, any other things you might be needing, but you a strong mindset. And the how, when you are at the doors, and actually I didn't want to forget about that. There was someone who was consistent, who was door knocking, which is Roger. And then Roger, you said you kind of stopped, right? You fell off, we'll call it fall off the wagon. We've all done that. I am what is it called? Like I'm definitely familiar to falling off the wagon. We're all, you go to the gym. I would tell you to create, and this is one of the things that I was actually thinking that might help this group, is creating, whether it's a private Facebook group or WhatsApp group, some sort of accountability group. And then you just put like day one, and maybe we'll do like a 90-day like accountability where it's day one, and just put your results. What are your wins? 17 contacts, 1 appointment set, 3 thank you cards written out, and 12 affirmations around door knocking. And I got it out before noon. That's a big deal. Like maybe that's a big deal for you. So then you're celebrating, because there's enough rejection we get in this business, more than enough. And if you're not affirming yourself and telling yourself that what you're doing, those little wins, they stack on each other. So if you have a lot of failures and you're not counting your wins, you're going to feel like a failure. So you want to affirm yourself. So if you're new to mindset or just doing affirmations, you can Google affirmations on anything. Affirmations around confidence, affirmations around negotiation, affirmations around prospecting, affirmations about real estate, affirmations around abundance. But yes, when you're out door knocking, you want to have affirmations handy. You want to visualize yourself with that success before you get there. And when you're done, you want to celebrate. Did you do your 20 contacts in 3 hours and schedule a minimum of 1 appointment? Maybe you didn't. Maybe you did 25 contacts, or maybe you only did 12 contacts, but you scheduled your appointment. And guess what? On top of that, you spoke to this really nice guy who's going through a divorce, and you just contributed to him. And he promised that he'd keep you in mind for other sellers and buyers. Amazing. What are you celebrating? And what can you do better? Because if we can get 1% better every single day, I mean, this is 37 times. You can improve yourself at 37 times better at the end of the year. So it's like huge if you're getting just a little win every single day. And
Erica, will you be touching on your follow-up system at all?
Oh yeah, we can talk about follow-up. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, we're gonna talk about that. And then important is doing measuring. So what gets measured gets done. So you want to actually track your results. it doesn't matter what tracking system you use. The one that works the best is the one you use. Just like the same calendar, just like the same diet. All the diets work in some way, shape, or form. The one you use is the one that's going to work. So use something and then use it and keep using it and mastering it. So, and then as far as the follow-up system, so it depends. There's a few different schools of thought with follow-up system. One is if you're doing the farming, like straight up farming in a neighborhood, you're actually looking for people that are selling or buying in the next 12 months. And when you find them, you will become their agent. So if the person is selling or buying, then you take their contact information and you help them. And every week you drop off data about the market until they hire you or they give you a referral and you reconfirm their move. Okay, so you're still moving you're still planning to move in August of next year because you're going to be retiring and you're moving to Florida, right? And I was looking at my arm like it was paper, so it's probably better if I look at potential paper. So and they'll say, actually, you know what? Plans have changed. I'm actually going to be retiring sooner. We're going to retire in April. Oh, okay, good. So if you're planning to retire in April, and do you want to be sold by April, or do you want to start selling at that time? Do you notice that like sold in April? Shake your head up and down, or do you want to start selling at that time? No, I want to be sold because I already got my retirement condo picked out in Florida. Okay, great. Well, then if you want to be sold by April, then all we need to do now is get your home on the market because it will take 90 days for us to make, depending on the time frame. Like if we're in January, you do this 3 months back. So then it would be good to put them on the market in January. Like if you're door knocking in January, if you're door knocking now, you don't need to do it yet. You need to know your market. So if it takes 3 months to sell a house, then you know to put them on the market. If it's taking 17 days, you're not putting them on the market. But that follow-up system, if you're dropping off information, market information every 7 to 10 days, and you're just hand delivering what's on the market, what's under contract, what's sold, and what's expired, and you're hand delivering it to their door, and you ask them to keep everything organized. Can you add this to your packet? Can you add this to your packet? When you talk about pricing and terms, there ain't gonna be no question because they have a whole packet of the information. They're like, oh yeah, I understand why we're gonna put it at this price. It makes perfect sense, Erica. Of course. I have no questions, David. This is what we need to sell it at because I've been looking at the data for a year. And when you're reconfirming, things might change. Actually, you know what? We're going to extend a couple years because I got an offer I couldn't refuse, and my company is going to increase my salary an extra $50,000, but we're not going to sell for another 2 years. Cool. Listen, we'll let you stay. So why don't we do this? If you're definitely not selling in the next 12 months, why don't we start this process again as we get closer? But in the meantime, who do you know right now that might be looking to sell or buy their home? And every so often, you've been seeing the numbers. Who do you know that could benefit from this market data, wants to get their home sold in 17 days, wants to get a price of, $40,000 above ask? When you're educating them and giving them information about the market, it's going to be very easy when you're a market expert for them to want to give you referrals. They're like, she knows the neighborhood like nobody's business. Call her. So that's one school of thought, is that you would visit your farm area 4 times a year. So basically and I'm just saying streets in my area, like if you go down 215th Street between 20th and 45th Avenue, then you do that in January, then you would do that again 4 months later. So then that would be in May, then 4 months later, 3 months later, 3 months later, 3 months later. So every 90 days, going back to the same farm area, because they're like, wait, Erica, I just saw you like 3 months. I know, but people, things change. So I know you said 3 months ago, I know you weren't moving 3 months ago, but sometimes I don't know, you might know somebody who had a baby, got married, or maybe you got an offer you couldn't refuse, you want to move, and I want to make sure I'm your realtor. So that's why when you do that type of farming, you're going every quarter to go visit them, and then you're making sure they have your business card, because then people will call you, they will follow up with you, will send you referrals. And the other type is if people give you information, because I know we didn't have this in our previous company, but it's like that, the smart plans. So people give you contact information. Hey, would it be helpful? I know you're not moving anytime soon, but it'd be helpful for you to just kind of know what's going on in the neighborhood. Periodically people are just curious what their neighbors sold for, or, maybe you're thinking about getting an investment property somewhere. If I set you up with maybe a monthly neighborhood watch, would that be helpful to you? Oh yeah, that'd be great. Perfect. Here's my contact information. What's yours? And then I would follow up with them via phone once. And if they're like, oh, I only feel comfortable giving my email. Listen, I respect that. But what if it never arrives? I want to make sure if you want to track the market, that I have your phone number just to make sure you got it. Trust me, there's a shortage of inventory here. If you're not selling, we'll let you stay. I just want to check in to make sure from time to time you're getting the emails, because things might change and I want to make sure you're up to date. Is that okay? And that's the other type of follow-up they do, is if I have a good relationship with them, then I will get their information and add them to a smart plan. Does that answer your question? Cool.
Does anybody else have any questions on follow-up?
Someone asked something, and I just want to make sure I answered this. It was during COVID, do they talk more to strangers? Everyone is lonely. They do.
Yeah.
I mean, they really do. And what you also want to allow people to do, like for instance, it happened to me today in Starbucks where this guy was talking, sweet old man, I think he was like 80 something years old. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you are so sweet. And my appointment was with myself to door knock. So I said, oh my gosh, I hate to do this to you, but I really, really need to go find some inventory. As I said, there's a shortage. So can we meet for coffee one day next week? I'd love to catch up. Maybe we can do like Tuesday or Thursday and we'll just chit chat. I just have buyers that need homes and I just don't have enough homes for sale. Is that okay? And he was like, yeah, sure. Now I leave him with, oh my gosh, we got to go find her some business. Like that's one way. Like if you have a good rapport with the guy, and if you could do me a favor between now and next week, if you could maybe see which of your friends or family might need my help, because a home doesn't stay on the market for more than 6 days right now. We have a less than 1 month supply of inventory. You have to know like what your stats are. And I don't know what that is there, but and definitely listen to them. And if they're really chatty, cut them off kindly. And then offer, hey, why don't we meet for coffee? Why don't we meet for lunch? Why don't we meet for something? And it might have to be outdoors depending on what your area allows, and what you feel comfortable with. But if somebody's chatty, chances are they're chatty in other communities. So you want to become friends with them, because then they're going to be on the phone with their family talking about you. Be like, yeah, I just had lunch with Erica. She's so sweet. Who's Erica? Oh my gosh, she's no neighborhood realtor. You don't know her? And have lunch with this guy once a quarter. Why not? And it can be fun. Another reason you can measure progress. Absolutely. Door knocking for me, when I go door knocking, I make friends. I door knocked a lot during the pandemic last year, like the peak, and I feel like we might be leaning into something similar again, unfortunately. But I was door knocking last year and just checking in, doing instead of the care calls on the phone, I was doing the care calls at the door and just checking in, just wondering if you guys need anything. They're like, need what? I don't know. I mean, some people need a job. Some people need food. Bless you. Some people need food. Some people just need a listening ear. I just want to see if you folks, how can I help? I'm a neighbor and I'm a realtor. I had people that literally saw me then doing this for other neighbors. And they're like, Erica, when you're done door knocking, we have dinner for you. Literally brought it out and pulled the chair up.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Fine. It was so sweet at the time. Do you leave something at every door knock? I don't actually. I don't, because I don't always, I should say. I don't know what the laws are, where you live, and we can't put in mailboxes. We're not allowed. So we can only leave at the door. And so sometimes they fly away. So if you have something that's very memorable, for instance, I had 420 people come to an open house. I had 159 showing requests and I had 53 buyers. 53 offers, and we sold for 170,000 above ask. That's probably something I'd want to know as a neighbor. So those are statistics I might drop off and say, whether you're home or not home, just thought you should know. Please give me a call if you'd like to sell.
Corey, to answer your question about restarting door knocking, you just start.
Yeah.
So how do you know when people are ready for their door to be knocked on though? Like,
You don't.
Because you don't. So what do you do if you get to a door and somebody's mad because you're knocking on the door during a pandemic?
You leave. I'm so sorry.
Corey, can
Sorry to
you be,
disturb you.
yeah,
Yeah.
can you be the different, why don't we role play? Are you okay with that? Can you be your biggest nightmare? Like for lack of, like,
So we can. My first answer to you though, Corey, is if they're concerned about COVID, they're not going to come to the door.
Okay, that makes
And
sense.
so what I've been doing is I have my mask on, I ring the doorbell, I have my clipboard, I step back far enough so that when they open, I can see their body language. I'm far enough away. So I haven't had, like, I've had people wave me off, no, and then you leave. You're letting your own fears and your belief. Oh, is that Winston?
Yeah, so he's playing video games very loudly in the background. Yeah, no, and it's just like we want to make sure that we're being respectful. So if you think the best way is just you put a mask on and then you step back,
Absolutely.
that's fine. But like we moved to doing more lit drops and talking to neighbors on the streets. We would, drop a piece of literature in the mailbox, and then if somebody was mowing their lawn or whatever, chat them up as opposed to knocking on a door. But sure,
but I can tell you, Corey, if you don't mind, Corey, I genuinely think it's in your head, because that day that person came out, like, I mean, straight up, like when I think back to, like, I've never in my 13-year career have I had anybody ever threaten to harm me. And I'm glad I brought that up on this call. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's recorded. It's a little bit crazy. But I'm really glad that I brought that up, because I thought to myself, what was really happening in my life that it would attract someone to be like, you get the F out of here, but I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, I went home that night. I was like, what's going on here that's having that happen out there? Because when your energy is good, people want to do business with you.
Yeah, it's true.
And I really want you to know that if you believe in yourself and you believe that you're adding value, and you're calm and you're grounded, and that might look like, come on up, baby. I know they've been waiting all day for you. There you go, Fiona.
Aww, Fiona, how's she doing?
She's good. She's almost 17. Yes, my love. So, but something I might want to also suggest to you is an essential oil, and I can, give you a link to where I got some of this stuff, is that there's a few oils that I use, and I'll bring them with me, and maybe you have like a briefcase or just a pocket or something like this. And this one has to do with courage or confidence. I sniff it.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And it's like, some people, literally have anxiety about going to the doors, or they have anxiety with too much rejection. I can't say that that's never not happened to me. And so these are all like little tips and tricks. Like, looking at this, it actually is called Valor, and Valor is like this, when even just holding it, and I think she could feel the cats are so good about energy. So I think she could feel that you needed, Corey, like grounding, because we get nervous sometimes when
Oh no, like I actually enjoy knocking on doors, but we had stopped at the start of the pandemic because people in our neighborhood were opening their doors through their windows and they weren't wanting us there all of a sudden. So I'm just a little bit nervous about going back to it, because I don't want to go too early, but I don't want to go too late either. Well, so it was more just like a bunch of bad experiences at the beginning of the pandemic. And yeah, so that's more what it is. But I really do enjoy door knocking. Like, one of our first sales in the spring was actually the last door I knocked on before we stopped door knocking. So we've had great experiences. I just want to make sure I'm being respectful and we farm in our own neighborhood, to our friends and neighbors as well.
And Corey, if I can ask, you mentioned something, and good for you for wanting to really be respectful. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get faster. Thank you. But what if someone talks through their window? I mean, I'm just trying to understand, like, and maybe I'm missing like part of it. if they're coming to the window, it's the same as coming to the door.
It's-
Oh, hey, how's it going?
You're still
Oh,
talking to
no,
them.
no. It wasn't. Like, we were getting, like, this is like late February 2020 when we stopped like properly door knocking. We were getting people that were like, go away, it's a pandemic, like we don't want you here. So that's why like we had stopped door knocking, because it didn't make sense for our business. Like we've got a big heart in our logo. I'll show you, it's cool looking.
Oh, and I
We've
definitely
got,
want to
yeah.
see more, and you're welcome to like share some stuff with me about things you're doing, but I also want to make sure that we get a chance to practice a little bit too. Like I want to
Sure,
go,
yeah.
that's okay. But I just
Yeah.
think that, so that happened, right? Like that's like the past, like over here, sorry, that's like the past. And you're like, oh, this thing happened in February. I'm so sorry, Fiona. And you're like, let me just make sure I'm still looking at the past. And my suggestion would be to just take the past and leave it there. That was February. Like just, and anytime that February comes back, oh, that was February. Thank you. And actually pat yourself on the back. Look, Fiona even loves the fact that I'm patting myself on the back. She's like, good job, mommy. Pat yourself on the back for leaving the past where it belongs. Like that was February. And if someone is very like, hey, why are you here? Oh, I'm just out here looking for like, and that's why I wanted to role play with you. Excuse me, thank you. I want to role play with someone so that this way you can hear, like you might be like a little bit, I'll just knock on your door and I just want you to
Actually, why don't you go with Corey? Corey, you be that mean person at the house.
Yeah, but don't be like, get the F away. Like, I'm not sure, what are you doing out here? But, just like a little bit hesitant because I want to get through the whole script, if that makes sense. So be defensive. Okay. Knock, knock, knock.
Okay. Hi, can I help you?
Oh, yes, actually you can. Hi, good morning. My name is Erica Rose Siegel and I'm from Keller Williams Realty. And you may or may not.
I'm sorry, there's a pandemic going on right now. Why are you on my porch?
Actually, I am at your porch because you may or may not be aware that we just sold a home in your area, 36 and 203rd, and it's sold for $170,000 above asking. And I was wondering, who do you know right now that might also be looking to take advantage of this market?
Sorry, I think my wife is actually confused about Mia's confused. She thought, what do you need, Mia?
Oh, I was trying to do a video from
Oh, sorry,
It's
Mia.
okay, so are you gonna be a while?
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Okay, Erica, I'm not really paying attention to what's happening in real estate and we're like hitting the fourth wave and I don't really want to be talking to people I don't know.
I can appreciate that. And honestly, at times, I don't know if I want to be talking to people I don't know either, but this is what I do for a living. I'm just here to help. How long have you been here?
Well, a while. Why do you want to know that?
Well, because, and I didn't mean to pry, please forgive me. I just, I do know that people need our help and, and people are making moves and I've been in the area almost my whole life, but I've moved 17 times around the neighborhood because I love this area. But I also know that I needed the changes happened in my life. And how did you pick this area? Like, I'm just curious, what brought you here?
Well, I mean, when the kids were young, we went for the schools, but Erica, I'm really not planning on moving and yeah, I don't know that I want to keep a conversation going. Like, I don't really need a real estate agent right now.
Got it. Well, listen, we'll let you stay and that's okay. Do you mind if I, just give you my contact information? I can slide it through the door. I can leave it in the mailbox, whatever you feel comfortable. I can hand it right to you because you might know someone who would want to take advantage of $170,000 above ask. I mean, that if you were selling, that'd be a pretty attractive offer, right?
Well, yeah, if I was, yeah.
Yeah, if you were. Okay, great. Then we'll let you say, can I give you my contact information? Do you mind?
Sure, just leave it in the mailbox.
Okay, wonderful. Listen, appreciate your time and have a great day, okay?
Right? Like, if you're not going to get any business out of them, you're not going to get any business out of them. So see if they will at least keep you in mind. And Eric, I do the same thing, moving. Oh, no problem. You know what? Do you know anybody else who might be? And if you do find someone who wants to move, do you have an agent that you can recommend to them? You don't? Well, you know what? I'd love to earn the right to be that agent. Can I leave you my contact information? Okay, fine.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I saw that Pam had a great question. It's funny because with Zoom, I'm always like, where's Pam? There's Pam. So I like to look you in the eyes or in the yellow and black circle box. You don't have to worry if not sold a home in the area. So in our area, it's called MLS. I don't know if you folks use MLS.
We have an MLS, yeah.
Okay, got it. So when you say, it's all good, Pam. When you say, we just sold a home in your area, that can be referring to the realtors or the brokers or whatever your title is that everybody has. You don't have to be using your market stats if you have none. You actually just say, we just sold a home in your area over on 36 and 203rd. It has 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and it sold for just under $1 million. And I was wondering, who do you know right now that might be looking to make a move? And we know that when someone sells a home, usually 2 more sell right away.
I think that's a really good one to use because regular people don't understand that as much.
Yeah, it's super common. Like, they're like, wait, really? I'm like, yeah, of course. And I want to, Roger, what is, you had a question and I want to answer as many questions as we can.
Do you think it's actually worthwhile, if you're not farming or circle prospecting one of your listings, is it really worthwhile to door knock that area? Like for me, if you're going to door knock, it should be an area you're farming or circle prospecting. It should be something that you can actually speak to, but maybe I'm missing something.
Roger, I'm 100% with you. I don't know, Erica might have a different perspective, and that's why it's good to speak to many different people. I'm 100% with you. You're either farming or you're circle prospecting. For me, hi, I'm here. Do you want to sell your house? You're not contributing. You're not giving anything of value. When I do farming, I will give away, like this afternoon, I'm going out with our branded yard bags, which are a big hit. And it's a really great for the people that are a little bit defensive. It's like, you know what? I'm not here to sell. You're going to need yard bags. Here, take a couple. How much are they? They're free. They're for you. Compliments of our team. And start walking away and, see if there's a conversation that'll happen with you walking away. If not, you just walk away. Or we just sold a house. We just listed a house. So for me, Roger, the answer is no. If it's not one of those, I don't go.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it either.
Same way? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it either. And I think David might have had a question, but I could be wrong. I feel like he was taking himself off mute. Not David, I apologize. Jonathan, you are off mute. Was there something you wanted to say?
Yeah. I was going to say, I door knock before an open house, and I found that I do get people to come through. And so that's how, even if it's not like an area that I'm actively prospecting. So that's the only time that I do it, that it's not like, a farm, but yeah, I found some moderate success with it. So
I've got one more, Roger. If you have a buyer for either a specific type of house or a specific neighborhood.
Yeah,
So,
I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done that too. People have hired me to go find them. They sign a commission agreement, and then I'll door knock the area and find the house, and it's happened. And I want to, go back to, because let's just say someone is selling. What is it going to look like? So, if someone wants to role play with me, like the idea of they are going to sell, maybe they're a little bit defensive at first, but they are actually selling. If someone wants to hear from start to finish and be the role play partner, I mean, Irene, it could be you, or if there's someone else you think I should be picking.
No, I want to give somebody else the floor. Honor, do you want to give it a try?
Am I going to be the objection handler or the other side?
You're going to be the seller. You're going to be the person I'm knocking on their door. Is that okay?
Okay. So I'm gonna play hard to get.
You're gonna play hard to get, yeah.
Okay.
So you want to sell, but you're hard to get.
Yeah, want to sell, but you're hard to get. Exactly. You ready?
Okay.
Knock, 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 knock.
Hey, who is that?
Hi, good morning. My name is Erica Siegel, and I just sold a home in your area over on 36 and 203rd. 4 beds, 2.5 baths. It's sold for just over $1 million. And we know that when someone sells a home, usually 2 more sell right away. So I was wondering, when do you plan on moving?
So we are thinking about selling, but we already spoke to a couple agents and we have some ideas already.
Okay, Well, good for you. So you're thinking about selling. You're already in the interview process for agents. Is that right?
True, but we already kind of in the process of signing an agreement with one of the agents.
Oh, you're even in the process of signing an agreement. Wow, you're right. You're definitely moving forward. Curious, how long have you been here?
15 years now.
15 years, pretty long time. And where did you move from?
From Roehampton, New York.
Roehampton,
Yeah.
New York. Nice. Okay. And how did you happen to pick this area all the way from New York?
The agent that we're gonna sign with who kind of introduced us to this area. So that's why we kind of think about proceeding with that specific agent.
Got it. Okay, so the buyer's agent that brought you here suggested this area. Is that right?
Buyer, but they're a team also.
And they're a team. Okay, nice. Okay. And if you were to move, since it sounds like you're pretty close to making that move, where are you planning to move to?
If you're planning to move to Texas.
Texas. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a change. And you're close to hiring someone. When specifically are you looking to get to Texas?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
It's okay. I hear you say you're pretty close to hiring someone. When are you officially looking to make your move to Texas?
Probably in the next 4 months.
The next 4 months. Got it. Okay. And if you said you're close to hiring someone, how will you know if you made the right decision with the agent?
I'm just looking at their metrics. They have quite experience in what they do. They've been in the business for like many years. So we are quite confident with them, and we have already an established relationship.
Yeah, metrics, established relationship, and confidence are huge in the business of real estate. And you need to be confident that the person you're choosing is going to get your home sold the first time around, correct?
Yeah, we are looking for the least hassle, so that's why.
The least hassle, yeah. And by the way, my name is Erica. I didn't catch your first name. What's your first name?
Connor, you can call me Connor.
Connor. Okay, great. Connor, are you aware that less than 50% of homes in this market actually sell the first time around?
Yeah, we are. We already had the presentation with the agent that we are thinking about working with, so we quite have some ideas about the market.
You did know that. Okay. So I actually specialize in selling homes that other agents haven't been able to sell. So I know you're about to hire someone, but before you get yourself tied up in a multi-month contract for thousands of dollars, you think maybe you could take 15 minutes of your time just to see what we can do? And if at the end of the day you think the previous agent is more qualified to get the home sold, by all means, go ahead and hire them. But all I need is 15 minutes to show you what we do differently. And I'm actually going to be in your neighborhood tonight for an appointment around 6, or tomorrow morning, say 10 a.m. be better?
Tomorrow, 7 p.m. could be better, maybe.
7 p.m. tonight, is that right?
Tomorrow.
7 p.m. tomorrow. Hold on one second. I can make 7 p.m. work. Okay. And before I come out, there are just some questions I need to ask, so I come prepared, okay?
Well, of course, but we kind of made up our mind. 90% of our, let's say, decision that we're gonna work with the agent that we already talked with. So I just want to bring your hopes up, but we'll just give you a chance.
Great, I appreciate it. All I need is one chance to get this place sold, and we'll definitely get it sold. And now those questions. Now that I have to tell you, in 13 years, I think I've had 2 people say they have an agent and got like that far along, where they were, normally it's like, sure, second opinion, no problem. Or they're really, really, really married to their agent and I don't want to push. And I'm like, you know what? Here's my contact information. If you need my information, feel free. I'd love to help if they can. And I just walk away. I just kept going. Like if you were 90%, I probably would have said, I would have not gone through the script. I would have just said, here, just in case you want a second opinion, feel free to give me a call. And I might drop off market stats later.
Yeah, you know what though, Erica? I mean, I actually thought you were heading that way. And you know what, like, because I specialize in selling homes that are difficult to sell or whatever it was you said. would it be worth 15 or 20 minutes of your time just to hear what we have to say? And listen, if you still want to stick with your first agent, at least you've had another opportunity, another perspective, and you're making the best decision.
Yeah.
If they really say no at that point, then okay, then they say no.
Yeah, yeah. But a lot of agents, I'm sorry, a lot of homeowners are not 90% there. That's like, I don't think anyone's ever officially said that phrase to me. It's more like, we're close to making a decision. I'm like, perfect. I'm stopped. It sounds like I've got perfect timing. When's the best time for us to meet so we can make sure we make the right one? But if you notice something, I was doing my best to mirror and match you.
Yeah,
And
I
also
was listening to
doing
that.
my best, but also you were talking about repeating and improving. You were talking about data and statistics and like, don't want to get your hopes up. Don't you worry at all. I'm all set. Like, if you're like defensive about it, they're going to smell the commission breath. So you just really whatever the client says, whatever the customer says, they are always right. They're always right. And I know that someone else is saying something. Oh no, we got that answer. How did that sound, Connor? I know that was it Connor? No, Corrigan. You're Connor, but your name is Honor, or
Honor, yes.
Honor. Okay, got it.
Honor. I just came up with that name. Yeah.
Got it. I was like confused. Like, I don't know what's happening here. Corrigan, so did that sound like something that you could do?
Yeah, no, it's great.
Okay. And the other thing I wanted to say is I actually use a specific script, and I can drop the scripts in the chat for you guys to take with you, and also my contact.
Awesome.
That's what I use when I go door to door, and I do a pre-qualification script as well. I would suggest that every single person, it's not just practicing, it's not just going to the doors. Like, you also need to practice this. If you're not on the 8 a.m. calls and the 8:25 a.m. calls that I'm sure Irene has mentioned before to the office, then you definitely want to consider that, because practice really makes you more confident. Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, I got this. Like, you're giving me a hard one and you're giving me a hard one. I got this. And you're not going to win them all.
And the other thing, and I do want to be conscious of everybody's time. The other thing that is important, especially if you're new, the more you practice, the more you'll be able to listen. And you did mention that earlier, Erica, the more you can listen to what they say instead of thinking about what you're going to say.
Yeah, huge. I think that's why I can hear better in the arena of real estate, because I've practiced a good amount. That doesn't mean I'm perfect. If you're dealing, and if you notice yourself not listening, you have to get yourself back in, like, calm yourself down. It could be a meditation, it could be a visualization, it could be essential oils, it could just be take a quick walk while you're door knocking. Everybody's not, hold on, where can I ground myself? Depending on the weather, take your shoes off, walk on the grass, and get yourself grounded.
Cold shower, maybe.
Take a shot. You could, but you probably want to do that inside, not outside in front of all the people as you're doing it.
Erica, can you put your contact information in the chat for everybody? Absolutely. So they can contact you if they have a Queen's referral?
Yeah, for sure. I'm also so this is what I gave. Part of what I was sharing, what I read, it came from there. And I'm also going to put my contact information here. And then I genuinely, oh goodness, there's Fiona eating. 917, hold on, 5793897, there we go. And I'm on Facebook too, so you can find me there. One of the reasons why I think that people don't door knock or don't do anything, is because of fear. And so it's people do things for love, or they do it for fear. They do it for joy, or they do it for terror. So I actually, and again, if there's any other additional questions, you're welcome to call, text me, Facebook message me. I'm a classroom teacher at heart. I've been in the business for 13 years. I love helping people. And I wanted to end just on this just extremely powerful quote for me that I think for each of you will make a profound difference when you're like, how about what if, what does it look like? It's really when you're asking those questions, it's your brain fearing something. So I'm going to end with this extremely powerful quote. And I also just want to say thank you for your time. You could be anywhere else in the world. You chose to be here with us today. And this is to create your life by design for the love of real estate. And I may or may not, I don't think I shared this at the beginning. I'm on a mission to help sell a minimum of 1 million homes in my lifetime to eradicate domestic violence. So when you are going door to door, you are potentially finding people that need our help in a bigger way than you realize. And if anyone comes across someone and they're like, hey, I found out they're not in a healthy relationship and I need some help, Erica, what resources do you have? They need to sell, but I need someone to partner with me on this. Reach out, because I've been there. I've helped people move, and we have ideas and resources, and we're just going to get bigger and better in regards to that. So thank you.
It's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And then let me just, so this is our quote, and then I can also put this in the chat for you guys to have as well, because I think it's one of the most powerful quotes I've ever heard. And it is as follows. Our greatest fear, by Marianne Williamson. It is not our life. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are born to manifest the glory of God within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Erica, thank you so much. We so appreciate your time.
You're very welcome.
I'll see you in the morning.
Good, guys. Have a good, productive day.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going out door knocking. Bye.
Bye.